What a time for Joe Biden to arrive in Israel. It honestly could not be worse. All eyes were on Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion Airport this afternoon, where the US President's Air Force One landed. As we saw Biden hug the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, then the Israeli President Isaac Herzog. Joe Biden also met the Israeli War Cabinet, and it didn't take too long for Biden to share his assessment on the Gaza hospital bombing. Listen in.
I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you. But there's a lot of people out there not sure. So we've got to overcome a lot of things.
The other team, not you, says Biden, in a clear support for Israel, telling the world that no, it was not Israel which bombed the Gaza hospital. And how did Biden arrive at this conclusion? Israel claims to have shared evidence with the United States. It has also released an audio tape and a satellite image that we will play out for you in some time. But for now, let's focus on Biden's visit. It has become a diplomatic disaster. It was over before it even began. We told you yesterday, the fact that Biden is taking the risk of visiting a war zone implies that a big announcement is in store. Perhaps the opening of the gates of the Rafah border for aid, crucial life-saving aid. Yes, this news just came in. Israel will allow aid into Gaza via Egypt. This is what Israel is saying as of now. What about steps towards stopping this war? Did Biden call for calm or a ceasefire to get the warring sides to arrive at a resolution? Well, the hospital bombing had upended it all. If Biden's visit was meant to showcase to the world that the US has the situation under control and is in a position to end the war, the hospital bombing has proven otherwise. What's worse, Arab leaders have called off an emergency summit with Biden. The US president was supposed to meet Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, and Jordan's King Abdullah in Amman. That summit is not happening anymore.
In the face of this tragedy that occurred tonight, and in order to protect our people, I've decided to cut short my visit and return to my homeland, to be among my people in this great ordeal. I've also agreed with our brothers in Jordan and Egypt to cancel the scheduled summit in Amman today with US President Biden.
This was not a snub, suggested the White House, citing a mourning period. But here's the thing, it's not hard to tell that the situation on ground has left little to no scope for diplomacy. What there is ample scope for bad optics. Biden walked into this one with his other team's statement. It will be interesting to see how that statement travels in the Arab world. All the more given there is no scope for a balancing act during this trip, as all that remains in Biden's calendar now are meetings with Israeli leaders and officials alone. Listen in now to what Biden said after a meeting with Netanyahu.
And I want you to know you're not alone. You are not alone. As I emphasized earlier, we will continue to have Israel's back as you work to defend your people. We'll continue to work with you and partners across the region to prevent more tragedy to innocent civilians. 75 years ago, your founders declared that this nation would be one based, quote, based on freedom, justice, and peace. Based on freedom, justice, and peace. The United States stands with you in defense of that freedom, in pursuit of that justice, and in support of that peace. Today, tomorrow, and always, we promise you.
While the unequivocal support was very much on the expected lines, what one might have also expected following the hospital bombing is at least a word or two about international law. You know, in order to manage a complicated situation and keep the violence from spiraling. But Biden failed to deliver.
I come to Israel with a single message. You're not alone. You are not alone. As long as the United States stands, and we will stand forever, while it may not feel that way today, Israel must again be a safe place for the Jewish people. And I promise you, today I'm also announcing $100 million in new U.S. funding for humanitarian assistance in both Gaza and the West Bank.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.